there can't be that many people have got as much out of it as we have this week.
Why do you say that?
Because I've seen so much more than just a sleeping problem.
What have you seen?
Well, you know, that there's a bigger picture. You can become very insular with your thoughts and your emotions, and you can just turn into this overdrive scenario where you're just trying to get through your life with your job and your wife and your child, and you've got to talk. You've got to involve each other. If you're in a relationship, you've got to involve each other and talk to each other.
Wow.
We needed the air clearing, and we needed to get to a point where we're ultimately, we've got to look after us as a family, and that's what's important. We can sort it, can't we? The eternal optimist.
Do you feel that?
I do now, yeah.
You
do?
do?
I do, yeah. When we talked in here, I sort of realised the penny had dropped and you knew that there was a bigger problem. But I still didn't know whether we'd go away and within a couple of weeks you'd just be back to normal behaviour or whatever. And but then when we had the meal last night, I think I sort of told you a few more things about, you know, just how it is and how I feel and everything. You know, more came out and you sort of listened, and then...
We'd kind of 3 years of catching up to do, haven't we, really?
Yeah.
By not supporting me for that time has made me change my feelings towards you. How can I love you in the same way when the time I needed you in my life, you let me down? Recognise that you haven't listened to what I was trying to tell you.
I'm listening to you, and I can't believe what I'm hearing.
You actually sat and listened for yesterday and last night for the first time, I think, in our marriage.
Do you feel that you've resolved the bigger question about whether Natasha has a sibling?
Yeah.
You have resolved it?
We haven't resolved it, but it's certainly opened up an awful lot of, you know, doors in my head.
Such as?
That were, you know, firmly closed.
What would those doors be?
Well, you know, if another child came along.
Children will come along.
Yeah.
Stop.
She don't want me to break down how we've come about having a child.
I'm just to
if another child came along, then it wouldn't be an issue to me. Now that when I say that, sounds awful, doesn't it? That.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Are you saying that you're beginning to entertain the idea of having another child?
Yeah.
Right. Whereas previously it's like, that's it, I don't do babies, no more children, got my beautiful daughter, she's now 2, 3, nearly 4 now, done and dealt. Now you're saying, actually, maybe there could be another baby, another child.
Well, I mean, that's that indecision to make today, is it, at the end of this week?
Not at all. And I'm not asking you to sort of sign a contract.
You're even willing to discuss it, isn't it? I suppose is a breakthrough.
It sounds to me like Richard is saying that you are willing to discuss it.
12 months ago, I had a sit here and said you were daft for even mentioning something on them lines. But, you know, if it came along, what I can say this time is I'm not a young single bloke that was into his, you know, motorbikes and doing things for himself. No, when I say things, I mean without children. You know, this time I'm a very different person because we've already got a child and I've done a lot of learning.
I think, Alison, you're very anxious and you feel emotional about things. You said often this week, I'm not who I was, I'm an emotional wreck, I've put on weight, I'm not the woman I was. And I suspect that is because I think you're trapped in a really difficult sort of limbo situation as a woman, as a mother. And I think the situation you're trapped in is the fact that in your heart there is always a conversation about another baby, but in your head you know the reality. But the issue has never been resolved one way or another.
No.
Natasha now is out of the bed. She's in her own bed. She says, I am a big girl in my big girl bed. She's getting more sleep. She's going to be more feisty. Developmentally, she's going to rocket along because the quality of her sleep is going to push her along now. You are going to have to really say goodbye to having the very little child. You're going to have to say goodbye to that part of being a mother.
Yeah.
But I think for you, with this unresolved question about whether or not you would have another baby, you will always be this woman who is feeling anxious and fidgety and not happy with who she is and what she sees, because there is a part of you as a woman.
Because, like you say, in my heart I want one, but the sensible part of me thinks, don't even do it to the family, to you. You know, can I go through that again on my own? could it tear us apart again? How will Natasha be if we're torn apart? All of that, my head says no.